Guys, we are already in game. Big V versus TOPAV coming right up for round 1. Thompson, Stoic, take it away.
And here we go, guys. This is our very first match between Big V and TOPAV. Pre-bans getting locked in now.
It looks like Topa might ban the Kavarchi and Big V might ban the Yonghong.
Definitely some really good units to be banning out in your first match, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. It's nice to be able to know what these units are going to be pre-banning out here, because you know you've got two high-quality players right now, so the pre-bans just felt so right.
Interesting to know, Big V actually has a Gianna. He could actually consider slamming down Gianna kind of early, but let's see what he goes with. Probably going to go with Vanessa or Oliver, actually, knowing Big V. He also has Nefties in his back pocket, but I would prefer Oliver or Vanessa, getting that 33 speed lead over the 24.
I do like the Chandra being first picked by TOPAV. I think this is a very good unit for him to be prioritizing here. Oh my lord. We're going to see the 33 speed lead Oliver and an Okeanos. You know, we talked about it on the Compto stream that I don't think we're going to see Okeanos too much, but we saw it in China, we saw it in Japan, and we're seeing it in APAC, if you guys watched it this morning as well. And Big V is going to be showcasing this unit right now.
I think Big V is really ready for a Chandra Vela Cigar. He might bring like a Barbara or Hey Gang here, a water unit, and then one of his LDs to close it off.
Let's see what this last pick, not last pick, but this next pick for Big V is going to be. Is it going to be one of his fancy LDs? Because we know he has a slew of them he could draft here. But TOPAV, like, how can you say, like, his draft, it looks perfect when you have such an incredible team like that.
The Hey Gang's interesting here because he doesn't have buffs because his Kavarchi got banned. So let's just see who he's going to pick last to put up buffs to give Hey Gang incremental value.
Ooh, Topa locks down Ragdoll. Hovering hasn't locked it in yet, but we have a Ragdoll and Faya Monkey King being showcased.
The Ragdoll is locked in. It's not going anywhere. That's for sure.
Wow, I actually didn't know he had one of these units, but he has the Fire Desert Warrior. I feel like the last time I talked to him, he didn't have it. Or maybe I was talking to somebody else, but he does lock in that Fire Desert Warrior. He's getting a ton of action in SWC.
People don't, I feel like he could have picked Gianna a little bit early, but he actually could go with a Doomin on the last slot as well for Big V.
Wow, Big V has a Doomin. I didn't know that. Those are incredible units that he has. Oh, wow. We're going to swap and we're going to bust out the Smicer. You know what? I think the Smicer might be a better decision over the Gianna here. I think this is really, really nice because we're showcasing a very thick draft coming out of TOPAV. He's looking at sticking around here in this match.
I think the advantage goes out to TOPAV because the Hey Gang seems like a kind of dead pick over here.
See what those bans are going to be here. They're using up their time just like every other player, and they definitely expect to see as much time being used as possible. Bans are going to be that Okeanos and Ragdoll.
Yeah, Ragdoll just seems too good into Okeanos and a Juno.
Yep, well, speed lead coming out here for both players. Let's see what happens, guys. We get into our very first match with TOPAV versus Big V. Juno, ready to... That's a very fast Juno.
How does Okeanos still awaken to crit rate 2024?
Oh, we got a big second skill coming out for Hey Gang, and Oliver's going to be ready to reset some units, potentially even push back this Fire Desert Warrior, opting to go for the Cigar instead.
Interesting to note that the 33 lead is better than the 24 for this reason. That's why he went with the Oliver or Vanessa into this draft first.
Ooh, that's a really nice additional turn coming out of Smicer. We get that two-turn... I'm sorry, that was not a violent proc, but we have a two-turn silence on top of Chandra, landing the bomb on the Vela Jewel.
Big V actually has the best Smicer in the world. If it could land, strip, silence, bomb, stun, wow.
That is very fortunate there for Big V. So we're looking at landing some provokes. It does get resisted by this Oliver. Oliver still has third skill available, so he could soak up the attack bar coming from either that Fire Desert Warrior. Not getting it, but he does get the cooldown.
This Meister is really good. Even push back attack bar on Assure and silence the Assure. It lands everything.
Yeah, TOPAV is really trying to look for anything right now. Does get a little bit of something, so we get that additional turn into the third skill, pushing up his team, and now we're going to get a nice second skill. Lands that defense break on top of Smicer.
Funny to note that that cleanse actually gave Big V bar because of Hey Game.
A little bit of damage going towards that Smicer. Smicer is holding a defense break right now, and I think TOPAV is going to try his best to take advantage of that. Does Big V get a kill on top of that Veldril? So Veldril is going to be dropping. We're going to look at a first skill, potentially additional turn. No additional turn here, but TOPAV is just trying to, you know, get a little bit of breathing room in this match.
I think TOPAV actually drafted really well. It's just Big V's Smicer is able to strip and silence every single turn. I don't know how he does it.
Wow, he actually went for the reset there, the Scout third skill onto the Oliver. It got resisted, and then Oliver just ended up not caring at all.
I would say Big V kind of got a little lucky with this match, but only because everything just landed and worked out well for Big V.
That definitely could be the result here, but that is a wonderful Despair Stun, locking down one of the damage dealers there for TOPAV. So TOPAV 100% on the back foot right now. He is going to be losing that Fire Desert Warrior soon. There's the attack bar pushback. The reset goes on to the Cigar there. Juno's going to be the one to finish it off here. And Big V in full control in this round one.
Yeah, Juno and Hey Gangs just taking turns Despair Stunning TOPAV. And Smicer also strip silencing every single turn. It's crazy. That Smicer is on something else.
Yeah, it really is. So what an incredible match there for Big V, getting absolutely full control there over TOPAV in round one. Let's see what happens, because we've got Yan Hong and Kavachi. They are available as we get into round number 2 with Big V and TOPAV.
The band's probably going to be a Ragdoll and a Gianna. I could be wrong, because Big V might not fear the Ragdoll too much and he has ways to deal with it.
Well, there's Ragdoll and Gianna. They are both in the pre-bans here. Big V has first pick.
Big V was the first pick. Probably didn't have to take Chandra away from TOPAV. He could still stick with his Oliver or Vanessa, giving TOPAV the Chandra. Chandra is also a great pick too, but
yeah, I do think Chandra's probably a prio pick. If you're going to take something away from TOPAV, it probably is going to be that Chandra. Let's see what he chooses. What?
Sure. We're both wrong.
How? I mean, I've got questions. We can get answers later. But a Fire Desert Warrior taking priority for Big V is very strange for me. But Chandra, Cigar, excellent picks for TOPAV. You know, we see it all the time. It works great. Big V taking that Yan Hong away from Topa here.
I didn't know Big V had a Yan Hong. He brought it out today.
Well, there's the biggest surprise, and I think TOPAV just found out today that Big V also has a Yan Hong.
Big V's problem in his box is always he doesn't have enough damage dealers, so picking that Assure first is actually kind of smart. And now he has Chao as another secondary damage dealer.
And Chao showcasing a lot of great damage, great sustain, and TOPAV not having a ton of damage right now. That is a pretty solid Pata.
Patter doesn't go that well into all the single target strips that Topa has, also Cigar. So we'll just see how this pans out. You know, Big V will be taking first turn.
100%. Now, Topa brings in a Miles. Are we potentially just looking at a Miles ban and limiting the damage of TOPAV?
Miles is really scary into the Assure.
I think we are. I think Miles does catch a ban here, and maybe Yan Hong or Chao catching the ban here for on Big V's side of the field. And it is going to be Miles. Miles does catch that ban, and the Water Twin Angels, the 24 speed lead for Big V, is going to catch a ban.
I am 100% sure Big V's Yan Hong will go first.
Whew, that'll be impressive. Let's see what happens here. And it is Yan Hong is going to go first.
With more attack bar to give, if you could pay attention to Topa V's attack bar.
Ooh, not getting that strip on top of the cigar. We're going to go with a big second skill. Getting a full team strip here, of course, that's going to proc our Patter. Patter does have all skills available, and immunity's coming right back up with a provoke landing on top of Hey Gang.
Double resisted. It seems like
that is
today,
really rough.
Yeah, Topa can't find any luck today. Double resisted, Smicer stun, Smicer bomb, Smicer reset. Oh, poor Topa V.
Well, he is going to buff up his team. 3-turn immunity is going to be across the board right now. Shower doesn't have any more skills right at the moment here, so he's going to put a little bit of damage that goes into this Villagel. I think Big V is probably going to move all of his attention directly into Vela, and that's what's going to happen. So Vela put roughly down 50%. Topa trying to get a Despair Stun, a little bit of attack bar pushback potentially on that Fire back.
Yeah, once the healer for Topa goes down, Big V still has 4 healers in his team.
Man, Topa can't catch a break right now. I think Big V went with the resistance lead, and maybe it's actually working because Chandra did not land a slow with that third skill on the Fire Baek or that Yanhong.
That Pater not built on max crit.
Ooh, that's a nice little additional turn, though, coming out of Topa V. Does go for that reset and strip onto that Patter. Patter does get provoked up here. Beautiful provoke also landing on top of Yanhong. Is Yanhong going to catch all the attention right now? It's going to be Fire Baek. Fire Baek looks like he's got 1 foot in the door. No stun going out towards the Chow mattered at all, but we have a beautiful additional turn coming out of Villagel after he dropped that Fire Baek.
Topa V really punishing Big V's first pick as short.
Yeah, he really is. Nice little stuns there coming out here. We can drop that Yanhong, and I think he has to do that here. Opting to go for a little bit of damage into the Chow. We are potentially looking at a Yanhong getting dropped. No, we're going to put our damage into the Chow instead.
Big V still trying to look forward to finishing off that Villagel. It's looking harder and harder with the hug coming out.
Yep, goes for a second skill there. He does get that glancing onto that Patter as well. Massive justice damage goes into that Villagel, and I think all of our focus can't help but to go directly into that Chow. Finally landing the slows, which is very fortunate to slow that attack bar gain onto the Chow, and all of his attention should go into this Chow. He needs to take advantage of this low HP Chow.
Huge armor break coming out.
Yeah, really big armor break coming from Cigar, and we've got a beautiful second skill coming from Chandra, which can provide a ton of damage, and it is enough damage to drop that Chow, and it is a lonely Patter with a Topa V victory in round 2.
We know who the pre-ban's going to be. I like how Big V is having pride in his game and saying, I do not need to take your Chandra, Vela, or Cigar, or Hey Gang. But, you know, you could kind of... You know what Topa V is going to bring, and you could kind of change that up. As your first pick, I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that as well. It really felt like he was just trying to take a bruisery damage dealer from Topa V, you know, attack the box of Topa V where he doesn't have a ton of utility in his box, so maybe just taking that away may or may not be the reason behind that. But there's your pre-bans here that are locked in here. We got Cigar and Oliver in the pre-ban.
Oliver is not that great of a pre-ban because it forces Big V to just pick up Vanessa.
Well, there's that Chandra. So the Chandra should have been going back and forth in the draft, at least what I believe should be going back and forth. But Topa V is going to have that Chandra once again. It might be a Chandra Villagel draft coming out of Topa V. Let's see what Big V is going to be drafting here. Does he choose to change it up?
It's going to be Vanessa Cavarchi, in my opinion.
What's going to happen. This Kavachi showcasing, I believe it had will runes on it, so better situation for Big V as we get in here. And in Okeanos coming back for Big V.
You see Topa confidently slam down the Ragdoll when he saw the Okeanos skipper on the field. Instant slam.
And I agree with him. So Ragdoll gets slammed down. The Juno's being showcased right now. So Topa V, he does have a pretty well-rounded draft at the moment. We're going to see a Dominic, and Dominic is a powerhouse when it's got a Kavachi in front of it. And we're seeing a Gapsu being drafted by Big V.
Segment being picked out to lay the anti-heal and armor break, which is a good pick.
Ooh,
Also
we're
counter
seeing 3
Kabarchi.
fire units. Are we going to see a Chow Slam from Big V once again?
It could be Chow, or it could be a Barbara as well.
Gonna see a Barbara? We could see a Barbara coming out as his 5th pick for Big V.
Annabelle's the pick.
Annabelle feels like a strange one. I'm curious how fast this Annabelle is. This is gonna be enough to like really set up our units, so where Annabelle is in front of, you know, anything here. I'm very curious to see Annabelle. Annabelle just didn't feel like the right pick, but we could be wrong because the Ashawa is going to catch a ban, and so is that Dominic.
Great ban by Topa, not having the temptation to ban Kabarchi because he picked Sekhmet, and also good ban by Big V as well, not giving Topa V the heal and armor break.
Oh, well, let's see what happens. TOPAV has that 24 speed lead. Segment is definitely going to be taking our turn 1, and that's going to be a perfect unit to stop this Kavachi from setting his team up. Ooh. That was quite an interesting decision there to go for the reset on top of the Okeanos, but we've got that second skill going into Okeanos. Big V wants to get those skills up as quick as possible. Let's see where his damage is going to go, and it looks like Big V wants to do something about this Segment.
Great play by Topa V to pan out that turn.
Most definitely. Here's that third skill coming from the Chandra. We do get 2 Despair Stuns, but only 1 slow, and that's going to land on top of the Okeanos. And it looks like Topa wants to invest a lot of his time into getting rid of Okeanos. Even though it is reset, he doesn't want this unit on the field anymore.
Seems like Gapsu's not going to get too much value because the heals from Topa V isn't that big other than Juno.
And it looks like Big V offered the third skill, getting the slows, getting the defense breaks instead of cleansing his team, because it looks like we think, oh no, we're not going to get a turn from Annabelle to heal up our Okeanos.
Yeah, also that's why you pick Sekhmet, because it leaves a heal block with Curse of the Beautiful. Great Sekhmet pick. Also, good job.
That was a rough resistance.
Yeah.
So the resistance coming in clutch right there. We know Annabelle, Annabelle to have very high resistance, so to no surprise to see the reset not land there. And I'm curious to see, what do you do here? Do you just throw this right into the Kavachi anyways?
He decides to save it. When Kabarchi does a skill, he could steal the skill and get the skill back.
Ooh, solid point. Now we're trying to take advantage of that defense break, adding a branding effect to it on the Chandra, because it looks like Big V is trying to get rid of this unit. It is a very easy unit for him to get rid of, especially when it's defense broken and has a branding here. So beautiful first skill. We're going to be throwing up 3-turn immunity, 3-turn attack buff here for Big V, and here's that big second skill, not doing too much damage to this this Annabelle.
Now Topa V will have Forever Charming Voice.
Right, well, he's going to have it up. And I believe one more turn, I think, and looking at a stun to happen to Ragdoll, and that's not going to happen here. We do have second skill. He is going to go for the full team strip, dropping everything and getting a despair stun on top of the Kavachi.
Nerfed skill 1.
Oof, he has skills available, and it looks like Topa goes for a big skill 2. Only lands 1 defense break. It's on top of Gapsu. Gapsu looking to shake that defense break off here.
That Help Me Teddy proc was huge.
Oh man, Gapsu is going to drop here, and that's a very tanky unit that TOPAV doesn't have to worry about. We've got a second skill healing up his team. Big V just with the sustain of Kavachi first skill and the second skill from Annabelle, so it is very consistent. And it's also consistent to see the resistance working out for this Annabelle.
TOPAV actually has his homework done. He saw the Kavachi was going to get picked, and he just went by the books and went with a Juno and a Sekhmet to counter the Kavachi. Great picks by TOPAV.
Indeed it was, and there you have it. TOPAV with a round 3 victory over Big V.
Also, I felt like Big V's ban on Cigar, he could have probably banned one of TOPAV's LDs, right?
Most definitely. Those pre-bans from last time, Cigar and Oliver, they are available as we get into round number 4 here. New pre-bans. And it's going to be all these LDs, Ragdoll and Gianna catching some pre-bans.
Same pre-bans as before.
What happens? Big V has first pick. What could it be? It can't possibly be that Fire Desert Warrior again, is it?
Big V's really comfortable first picking Kavarchi. That's what he's been doing a lot in ladder anyway.
Yeah, that's so strange to see a prio pick on a unit that TOPAV doesn't have going with the Kavarchi when I feel like he should be interrupting the draft of TOPAV just a little bit more, but Kavarchi's the pick. He's taking it.
I foresee the Chandra Cigar is going to come out, but for Big V, I foresee the Oliver coming out.
The Oliver by Big V or TOPAV here?
Oliver by Big V. We know TOPAV is going to go with Chandra Cigar. I wonder if he wants to go Oliver Yonghong.
That's what I was thinking. He was going to bust out the Yonhong and take that unit away here, but now I kind of want to say Big V might be expecting TOPAV to take the Yonhong, and then he'll bring his own thing to go with it. And it looks like we're going to get a Vanessa and a Dominic this time.
Yeah, Vanessa is as good as a pick as Oliver, and I like the Dominic pick. As I said before, Big V's problem is he doesn't have a crazy damage dealer like Julian in his box, so he has to go with Dominic.
Wow, no priority on Yan Hong. We're going to go with the segment once again, and the Juno. We're just going to slam those units down right now. TOPAV, you'll have only one last pick here to respond against this Fire Baek, who's coming into the spotlight once again, and a Smicer.
Big V going back to the best Smicer in the world. Let's see if this game is the best Smicer in the world, because you never know if Smicer wants to come to work or not.
You are right. You know, Smicer is kind of like hit or miss if it chooses to take all the additional turns, landing the pushbacks, the silences, the bombs, and stuns. We'll see what happens because we're getting into that match very shortly. That's a lot of fire units being slammed down by TOPAV. He does go with a Velajul.
Big V's got to ban the Juno. I mean, TOPAV's just playing by the books. He sees the Kavarchi, he slams Sekhmet, Juno. You just have to at least deal with one of them and pop the other one.
Ooh, and Big V is going to realize that. He's banning out that Juno, doesn't want to have to play around that unit, and it looks like TOPAV is going to ban out the speed lead, so there's no speed lead being showcased by Big V. He doesn't have to invest that time into going after a Vanessa knowing it can revive, but let's see what happens, because TOPAV is going to be taking turn 1 with that Sekhmet.
So this time, the Kavarchi is going to get reset.
Kavarchi is going to get reset this time, and it does land true with a little bit of damage coming towards that Sekhmet. Sekhmet, of course, is going to handle that very, very well. Another reset from Sagaz coming out, and it gets resisted on the Fire Baek.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. Where is this a hug going to go? I feel... What? He got that? Holy...
This is the moment of truth. Is Smicer going to do everything? Nope. All right, this is a normal Smicer. All right, I knew it.
Normal Smicer here, not getting any silences, nothing. We're not getting any additional turns coming out of the Dominic, but we do have keeping this Fire Baek back from doing anything right now. He's trying to land that Provoke, lands that Provoke. We're going for a hug on our Sekhmet. We're using our third skill. Are we going to get any Despair Stuns? Fire Baek is getting shut down once again.
Yeah, it's hard to draft Dominic into a comp where you're not really taking first turn and you're letting the Sekhmet control you. So maybe picking that Dominic too early. It's not a Julian, it's a Dominic. Maybe picking that Dominic too early might be a mistake.
It might be. These defense breaks across the field are definitely going to be a problem here for Big V. He needs some sort of change of winds here. And you know what? Smicer can be that unit. He needs to see a lot of additional turns, but not if units like his Fire Baek are going to be reset here. We got a big second skill coming out here. Do we choose to drop this Kavarchi? And it looks like Kavarchi is going to be the unit of focus right now.
I see Big V's plan. He's really trying to bully TOPAV, thinking that TOPAV is too slow, and playing a similar style to the way Frank was playing earlier today in the APAC region, but it's definitely not working out, and TOPAV definitely drafts better and is playing at a higher speed than Big V right now.
Well, the chains of wins, like I said, were happening here because Smicer did get the additional turn. We did land a bomb. We had that silence on top of the cigar. So Smicer might actually be in the working right now because we're looking at a tide change right now. We need an attack break going out onto these units. We get the additional turn, but it stays stunned up there for that Bellatrix. And suddenly things are looking incredible for Big V.
Big V Smicer is so good.
Yep, and it really did. You know, it went from not performing to just like later on in that match finally getting that turn, and it was a very good turn, landing it. And there you have it, a round 4 victory from Big V.
Great game. You could just say it went from not procking to procking.
Yep. But also the resistance like is really, really rough there because Smicer was not doing anything for the longest time, and TOPAV was putting all of his eggs in the basket of removing the Fire Desert Warrior and that Kavachi as well. But all Smicer needed, all Big V needed, was just Smicer to actually land true, and it did. And it did it with a violent proc, and that was really, really rough for TOPAV.
Hagen and Oliver ban. I was going to say that I think it's a good ban for Topa to go with Oliver, and Oliver got banned, so that's awesome.
See what this last first pick is going to be for TOPAV. Prioritizing that Chandra Veladrul Cigar could potentially be coming out here for TOPAV. Big V locking in a very early Gianna.
I like it. I love it. It could be a Gianna Vanessa. Gianna Sierra is great too. Perfect.
Now, I do feel like TOPAV should be kind of ready for this.
Yeah, no, Big V is going for the throat this time.
Locks in the lovely ladies. Both Oracles getting locked in here. TOPAV showcasing his Yan Hong, his turn 1 ability. It is going to be Cigar once again for TOPAV.
Let's see what kind of speed lead Big V is going to throw out to contest that Yan Hong. Now he's pivoting to go to a slower turn 2. Oh, Ethna. Great. Oh, Ethna. All right. Yeah, it's going to be Ethna. Big V's going to bring the Ethna to contest speed into Topa.
Yep. So you were definitely right here.
Now,
you know, he's going for the throat. He's bringing in that 33 speed lead. He's bringing in that interrupting turn 1 unit, Ethna. Let's see what TOPAV is going to do, because I think he does need another speed lead if TOPAV wants to utilize this Yan Hong here.
Well, Topa also has a ragdoll, so he doesn't really have to. See?
That's a good point. It's a good point. So Ragdoll and Yan Hong, he gets both of his LD Nat 5s in this match here. Does bring in that Juno. Juno can be a very powerful unit going up against Big V here.
Yeah, now it's kind of easy for Big V to draft. He could just pick a force ban, like a Doomin, or a second turn unit that Topa has to force to ban.
What that last pick is going to be. I can't believe that Big V has a Doom Man. That is wild. What an incredible unit that unit can be here. And it is going to be the Fire Bayek. So Fire Bayek makes it again. He's getting so much time on the SWC platform here. It's so awesome to see a unit like that. Let's see what happens.
Big V's going to have to ban out one of the Bruiser units at the end, and Topa is probably going to ban, if he bans, like, probably the Sierra's a big force, and also the Gianna's a big ban too, so Topa wants to get the first turn, so he bans the Ethna.
Yep, definitely a smart ban. I feel like he kind of knew that his Ragdoll was going to get banned out there, because being a Ragdoll user, I'm a fan of Ethna. Ethna is always going to crit and give me lots of attack bar, but I think he knew Ragdoll's probably catching that ban, and that's exactly what happened, guys, because we're getting into our final match with TOPAV and Big V.
Well, Topa made a gamble, because we don't know who Big V was banning, and Topa went with the Ethna ban.
Ooh, Topa's going to be boosting up his Chandra. He wants his Chandra to push into the first skill here. We're going for a third skill to push our team. Big second skills primed and ready for Yan Hong. We're looking to set up Topa's team.
Wow. Huge stun.
Yeah, big stuns there. Looking for the reset on top of the Fire. Bayek does land it. Lands provokes across the field as well. Vanessa, you know, can only set up a defense break here, but no one's going to be there to take advantage of it. That is a Despair Vanessa getting a stun on Yan Hong.
Despair Vanessa is the best Vanessa.
Yep, let's see this additional damage rolling out from this Juno. I did miss the numbers, though. I looked elsewhere, but we do have a bomb ready. We can throw that down and get the attack. We don't have a bomb. There is no bomb coming from Big V.
It was 2.2k.
Nice. That's some solid damage coming out of this rune.
So, Big V got his Assure resetted, but Assure's skills are really short. He just needs one proc to get his third skill back up again.
Yep, and Ciara could definitely utilize one of those keywords as well here. She's not able to get that proc there to get a bomb onto the field, and that would be a massive change of winds as well. Let's see what happens with Cigar landing the provoke on top of the Gianna. So no additional turns going to be rolling out here. No additional turns for the Fireback either. Looking for a reset with Vanessa, not happening.
I mean, really, the Sierra missing the bomb was like a nail in his coffin early on in the game.
Oh man, this is going to be perfect. He throws down that skill 3, gets slow on every unit, drops that Ciara as well, and we're looking at Gianna potentially getting dropped out here as well, so the bomb can land and the big skill 3 can stun everybody up here, and you know, we're trying to create some sort of motion. We can't land bombs for the life of us!
Yeah, that's the last thing Gianna's going to do this game.
Oof.
Assure has skill up, by
is
the
going
way.
to drop. Ooh, no despair stun going out onto the Assure. Assure, like you said, has skills up. What is it going to do? Because there's a couple options for this.
Well, let's be real. There's only one option. He has the third skill and heal up and cleanse debuff.
Yeah, he definitely does. I'm pretty sure that skill was supposed to defense break, but just like the bombs, we didn't see bombs and we didn't see defense break. And now the Shower is going to be defense broken and killed by this Chandra. We don't have the third skill. It will be up in 2 turns. I don't know if that's going to be enough time to get it. He needs to try and despair stun this unit, but he has the reset available. TOPAV is definitely in full control.
TOPAV with the win, but also bad luck on Big V's side, missing 2 bombs. That was really crucial for him.
TOPAV takes the second V to assemble the W and moves forward.